Hello and welcome to Country Stitchers. I'm Liz.
And I'm Deb.
We'd like to welcome everybody to this broadcast, our 8th today, and especially any new viewers who haven't been with us before.
Yes.
And as always, to our subscribers.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
And today we have quite a bit to talk about, so we're going to try to keep this moving.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun reading your comments this week, and Deb has some that we're going to highlight.
Yes. I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot. So Beth, and I'm sorry if I mess up names here, but I think it's Pierce, P-E-A-R-C-E. She would like to know if you could direct her to a good beading video, something that she can pause, rewind.
I would suggest going and looking at the channel called Beadaholic. And it's spelled Q-U-E, I think, at the end. And if you look, we're going to develop a playlist on our video channel, so you'll be able to see that video down there. And feel free to download our playlist, and I'll put some of those tutorials in there as well for you.
Okay. So Diana Lohman, she would like to know what app it is that you use to track your floss. And also, Carrie Ray was wondering the same thing.
It's an awesome app. It's called XStitch. And I just went to the App Store on my phone. I have an iPhone. I know there's something similar for Androids. And just put in cross stitch or needlework. And it allows you not only to track your floss, it allows you to store your kits, all the supplies in each kit. It allows you to choose the designers. They already have them populated for your patterns. You can also load those in your inventory.
Okay.
You can get as geeky as you want, and it also builds a shopping list.
Okay.
So have fun.
Faye Rigsby, I love that name, and Perian, P-E-R-I-A-N, Simpson, they would like to know where you found your large rings.
Haha.
The necklace. No, just kidding.
Guess what? I even just got another one.
Yeah, and it's even larger.
It is. I actually got the 10-inch, I think, this last time. Because once I got them on, they were...
I told her just to go get a hula hoop.
I got these at Salty Yarns. And we'll put their website link in our description section for you. And you should be able to connect. I don't know that they'll actually have them listed in there under inventory, but you will get the phone number for the store there and be able to contact them.
Okay. All right. And also, Leslie Garcia, she wanted to know about my back stitching when I showed the quilted garden.
Yes.
So I thought, Leslie, that I would just hold it up. It might be a little easier just to show you. It's not charted for any back stitching, but I just did it myself because I thought it popped and it made it look nicer. And the way I chose what color I was going to backstitch is I just kind of looked at the quilt blocks, and maybe whatever was prominent, that's what I chose to put the backstitch in. So every quilt block has, you know, a different color. I did not backstitch any flowers. Pretty sure I did not backstitch any flowers.
I don't see anything.
No,
from
I did
behind.
not do that. But I did put it around the quilt squares, and, like, you know, in the middle a little bit, just to kind of make those quilt pieces pop.
Yeah.
So.
And there's several patterns we've done in the past that don't have backstitch that you add stitch.
Yeah, see, I'm probably one of the weird ones that likes backstitch. So I know that a lot of people they don't like it or they can't stand it. And I get that.
Well,
you know, that.
Sometimes, though, it really makes a difference in the look of the piece, too, when you do some.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I just did every quilt block differently, whichever color I wanted to backstitch it in. That's what I did. The colors are so pretty in this.
I've seen oftentimes people will do lettering on something and won't have backstitching around the lettering. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And I notice it makes a huge difference
Yeah.
of being able to read it, especially if the color is like a lighter or darker shade of the fabric, and then you have a real hard time picking the letters out.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps. All right. That's that.
This week was busy.
Oh, yeah. Very busy. Yes, very busy. And last weekend we got to meet up with Jan and Misty. Look, I remembered your name. We went to Stitches Unlimited in Lancaster and had a great time. They are so sweet.
Jan and Misty are two other floss tubers that got in touch with us about coming into town and getting together. So we did.
We started off at the store and, of course, had to buy stuff.
Like we needed that after our retreat.
We'll show you a couple things we got. And then we went to a coffee shop and it was so funny because Jan's husband was along and Misty's boyfriend was along, and they were gems. They sat there in that coffee shop.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, we were there for like over 2 hours probably.
We should say hi to Mike and to Kevin.
And they didn't even look like they were in pain.
No.
Yeah, they were wonderful and let us just talk and gab, and oh my goodness.
Yep.
Jan actually did a video while we were there. So if you did not get to see that, pull that up on one of her latest videos. I know she's doing one every day right now for Stitch Mania. But
Her channel is Jan Hicks Creates.
yeah, yes. So anyway, Misty is a sweetheart. She is very talented. She quilts. She has a loom where she makes these amazing towels. She stitches.
She knits.
Everything. Yeah. So we had a ball. We did. Should we show whatever goodies we?
Yeah, and
got?
also, also.
Oh, and that was sweet. Jan gave us a.
She
really
made one of
sweet
these
gift.
for each of us.
Yeah, she did. She made us frames that she actually quilted the flowers in there. Put on. I think, if I remember correctly, these are her grandmother's buttons. Isn't that
okay.
Sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Rick Rack makes the flowers. She found the frame. It's so cute, and it lives in my craft room. I love it.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
And mine has a place in the kitchen right now.
Very cool. Oh, it'll go in your
Next to
kitchen
my sink.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I brought flowers into the kitchen.
Nice. And what did I get? Oh, yes. I had to get some floss, which I'll show you in a little bit. Oops. I joined a stitch along, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit because that's something I'm working on. But I have been looking for this pattern. Teresa, how do you say that? Kogut, called Chicken Run, and Liz found it for me when we were there. They had one, so yay! I got
We
my
went
Chicken Run.
all through Salty Yarns looking for it, and then we were there, and I saw them hanging there, and I found it. That was fun.
And then Misty and I were both after. Actually, Jan was after this pattern. We were all after this pattern. So Misty knocked some people down first to get it, and then I was like hot on her heels and got it. But the Prairie Schooler, Village Green. And I love all three of them, so.
It's adorable.
Yeah. So anyway, that was very cool. Got that, and all I did then was get threads for my sampler.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, I
didn't do too
placed
much
an
damage.
order for that ring from Salty Yarns post-retreat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need another one. And at the time, they had called and said they had gotten in a pattern we were looking for, which was the Oh Whale pattern.
Oh,
And so that one came in. And while we were at Stitches Unlimited, I had to get two of the colors.
Those colors are beautiful.
So I got the Terracotta and Portobello were the two I didn't have.
Wow.
But the rest of them I had in my stash, and I just pulled out this color fabric to do it on. I didn't get the color they called for, but these were what I had, and these were the two I had to pick up. So
Those are really pretty together.
now I can start on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had some little Foxwood Crossings sled patterns I had not seen, and I like cardinals.
Yes, she does.
So I picked that up. That was adorable. And then Deb's,
Oh, I love this one.
Deb's not knowing that I have this, right? She doesn't see this at all. But
Love it.
this is adorable.
I saw
It's country Christmas, right?
Yes, I saw
Barnyard Christmas.
Farm Girl Stitcher held that up, and I told Liz right away, I'm like, oh, I love this pattern.
And that was the only copy of that one they had, too. They had, we always seem to find
I know.
the down to the last copies.
Yeah.
And then the actual thing that worked out really well for me is I'm going to take a class with a couple ladies from our guild. It's in their designer series at Stitches Unlimited in June. And the piece was there
Anybody
to
wants to
pick up.
join in, call Stitches Unlimited.
Yes. And it's by Summer House,
It's beautiful.
and it's called Grandma's Needle Book, I think, is the title. And that's the piece.
That fabric is pretty.
Grandma's Heart. I'm sorry. It is a needle book, but it's very cute, and it has a floss tag with it. And so I started it, got a little bit done on it
Nice.
since we got back.
I am not taking that class, unfortunately.
Yeah, Deb has
But-
to be out of town. Tough duty.
Yeah, McKenna and I will be just coming home from her graduation trip. We always said that when she graduates, we get to go on a mother-daughter trip, and then when Logan graduates, they go on a father-son trip. So McKenna and I will be basking in the sun.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait.
So that was our shopping trip while we were there.
Yep, we had a good time.
Yep, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, and I have to say one thing.
yes,
I don't think you got to see it yet, but it was cute when Jan did one of her videos after we had met. She went. We had given her a little goodie bag, her and Misty, and she went through her bag, and we had sent one of these along, which is a project roll, and
it's not the traditional kind. It doesn't have a flap to roll around your
yeah,
work.
yeah. So, but it was so cute because she was showing it, and she's like, "A really neat shaped pillow." So cute. So anyway, Jan, if you'd like to, you could wrap your projects around this, and it would really work out well for her because she stitches in hand.
Yes.
So that would work out great.
And what these are for actually is if you have a piece that you're working in hand and you have a nice friend who doesn't do that to you, you just pin your piece on here when you're through using it or stitching on it, and stick it in your project bag. And then it just keeps it from getting all gnarly and wrinkled.
Gnarly. And it's so cute. Now I have something rolled up on it because I didn't get this framed yet, but this is my finished piece, and so that I don't keep it folded somewhere getting creases in it, I just have it wrapped around this.
And because she's waiting on her friend to make the actual project roll that we have the tubes for and the tutorial from Vanna to do it with,
who would
but
that
we
be?
haven't gotten the fabric. Remember?
Well,
waiting
then
on
we're going
fabric.
shopping. Okay.
Well, we were going to go shopping in Nana's attic, remember?
Yes.
But we haven't got there yet.
Yes. We
So
didn't.
her
Yes.
her grandmother
In
has a
my-
lot of fabric. She was a quilter.
Yeah. And in her craft room, and she said we could go in there and check things out. So we might have to go do that.
Yeah, get on our calendar. That's the problem. We don't get it written down,
Oh, I
and
know.
it goes
and
by.
then life is so darn busy right now.
Yep.
I mean, everybody's life is busy, but
Well, it's that time of year too
it's
for anybody who
graduating.
has students.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
So, anyway, that was fun. So
Yeah.
hopefully Jan will see that, and
Yep.
that was cute.
And the project roll, by the way, that we're making off of Vanna's tutorial actually is shaped that way, but it's on a large tube, like a mailer for rolled posters. And it has a quilted piece of fabric that comes out. You lay them in there, and you can stack up as many as you have saved up, and you
Yeah.
roll them, and then they tie shut.
Very cool.
And they are a great way to store your
Yeah.
pieces.
We need
It's
to-
just another gadget.
Yeah, we need to get on that.
Yes. Speaking
Okay.
of pieces that are finished.
Oh yeah. Let me show you something. I
Do you
know.
want me to hold it up?
I don't know which video. No, it's okay. Liz.
Okay.
You relax. I don't know which video I showed this. Maybe like one or two. I forget.
Early on.
Early. Yeah. Autumn Quaker Forest that I had finished, but now it's finished. I took it to the framer and was able to pick it up.
Beautifully finished.
So chose this frame, and I did not get it under glass, and I'm really happy about that.
Let's go let them see the frame a little
Yep.
closer, because
Yeah,
that's
it's actually a
beautiful
hand
frame.
pieced frame. It's all put together piece by piece. That's why the piece, it's running this way. So it looks beautiful. It hangs in my downstairs living room and looks awesome. This was so much fun to stitch.
This
my
is the one
goodness.
I'm just starting mine for my son. I have not got mine finished or anywhere close yet. I think I just
And
marked
what was
the
this
center.
fabric called?
This is
Val?
vintage,
Oh.
vintage, antique, light green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Valor is the dark one.
Oh, I always want to call it
Yeah,
that.
Valor's the
Okay.
dark one.
All right. Well, anyway, that is completely finished, and I took it up to a finishing touch up there in Strasbourg, and Mike made it beautiful for me. So I was happy to get that back.
That is gorgeous.
And-
And by the way, that's all DMC floss.
Yeah,
The whole thing.
You know what? There's one color I put in there that's a little. I always have to change.
It was-
It's supposed to be all
It
DMC.
was-
It is.
But that was the attraction for us initially, was that it was DMC and we could use our stash. But I
Yeah.
remember you did change out something.
Yeah. When don't I?
What one did you change out? A tree or something?
It's the brown. This brown of the. But you honestly really can't tell. Like the deer. See the deer?
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Real close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see it now?
I can see it now.
Okay.
Is it the same as the bear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw him.
Yes.
So you used an overdyed for that?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
don't remember what it was.
All right.
I had no clue. It's a mystery. But you really can't tell. It looks beautiful in DMC. So that was fun.
Yes.
And it has Quaker on it.
Yes. It's very Quaker.
Love that Quaker. Oh, and I have another finish to show you. This one I stitched last fall. Shocker. Because it's Halloween. So it's in a magazine, which
Halloween
is...
2013.
Yes. what she said.
As I got a text this morning, it said, "Do you remember where we got our pattern?" I told.
Yes. Anyway, she did have it.
I did.
I knew you would.
I know.
I knew it.
Actually, I just ran across it. That's what I told her in the text. I was going through my patterns last week, and I pulled out mine because I was working on it. So I texted her. I said, "Pull out your magazine."
Yep. So she very sweetly brought it. I did mine over one, and it was on 28 count. And so I made a little,
This is adorable.
cute little, like Halloween ornament, if you want to call it that.
And look, it's not Halloween. I'm so proud of her.
I know. I finished something out of season. What? Crazy. Anyway, it is very fun to stitch, and I love it over one. I love it over. It looked beautiful over two. You're going to do it over two, right?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. That's actually why I had pulled it out, because I had written down over one, and that's what you did. And then I couldn't remember what I was going to. I have to look at my fabric, but now I think I did cut my fabric big enough to do it over two.
Okay. I just had this fabric in my stash. It's an even weave, but it was a lot of fun, and I put just a little cording, little yellow cording around under that, and then I matted it on another piece of board that was covered in fabric, and then I put felt on the back of that, which I just used pinking shears for. Put little bows and buttons up here, and then just its hanger. So I could either put that on the wreath at Halloween time, or hang it on my little. We'll have to show you that at some point.
Or if you have a pegboard upstairs that you have little things on, you could add it to that.
Do I? I could.
I wasn't
yes.
going to tell.
Or I can show you our tree at one point that Matt made us, our little wooden tree that we hang goodies on, little smalls and stuff. So
That's nice.
that's finished.
Very nice.
Those are my finishes. That's it.
That's
all, folks.
I got one.
Okay.
This one's seasonal, actually. That's what reminded me to bring it along and show you. This is a little bell pull that I did. Let's see if I can get it back far enough to see the hardware on it. And the name of the pattern is When Birds Have Friends Sleep Over. And they're all stuck on top of each other.
That's cute.
It just basically says when birds have some friends over. But I fell in love with it. I think, and I was trying to remember, I believe this was a drawn thread pattern.
Okay.
I will check and see if I can run across it. But I did it on the banding. They did it.
That's pretty on the banding. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted something I could hang on my craft room closet door.
Yeah.
Now this is a
Oh, pretty.
finish and question at the same time.
Okay.
Because I have this is our process. This is from a designer called Tristan Brooks, and this pattern was an Elizabethan design. And we did this at a Saturday Stitchers. It was a pattern they had picked out. That's my finish for the little pin cushion or pillow.
Queen stitches?
Yes,
Ooh.
Rococo
Ooh.
Queen stitches. And it's a silk thread, and it is the most awesome silk thread. And unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. And I remember going out online when I heard that and looking. It's called Parsols silk. But it is
Beautiful.
a twisted silk. It's lovely to work with. It's almost like a flower thread of silk. But
Your queen stitches are lovely.
thank you, man.
Good job. They look great.
Thank you.
Wow.
And that was my first ever. That was my
Really?
Yeah, this was Welcome to Queen Stitches.
And welcome. I mean, there's a lot in there. Wow.
And
Cute.
the other thing I'm going to talk about too is
Good job.
I learned with a little tip on eyelets here. And this has a couple of them in it. When you do your eyelets, of course, you always want to be going down through the hole in the center so that your tension pulls to the center of the piece. But if your threads are a little close in there and you take your needle and you get your needle damp, run your needle straight through the hole. It puts a little moisture on the threads in the center, and they draw and they form the most perfect circle when they tighten up. It's an awesome way to do it. Well, we know what that is.
Yay.
Should we pause here?
Yes, we should pause here. All right, so we want to say thank you very much to all of our subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So we would like to send a thank you to Charlene Ziegler, Charlene, if you're watching. It is a Hearts and Flower, a floss holder by Purple Thread. Everything's in here for you
And
to
for
do
any
that.
new watchers, this is our subscriber tribute. We do this every week. And we also have another little
Oh yeah,
goodie
but-
to go along.
Oh, yes, we do. Sorry. I forgot I have your gift. Another cute scissor fob, because you can't have too many of those. So, really, really cute scissor fob to go along with that. This was actually in our goodie bag at Salty Yarns, but I wanted to pass it on to you. So,
And one of the ladies did actually do it while we were sitting
oh
around
yeah,
chatting.
it's very, very, very cute.
It
yes.
is.
So Charlene, if you can get a hold of us either through private message on Instagram or YouTube, that would be fantastic.
Yep.
And we are. I just want to also say, sorry for disappearing. Hello. We're still looking for Marjorie Brown. She still has her goodies here for subscriber giveaway. And should I do the bell pull thing now?
You can.
Yeah? Okay. So I also wanted to let you know who, out of everybody who mentioned the bell pull, McKenna chose the name out of the, once we wrote them all down, out of the little bowl. So it's Gail. I think it's Saucier?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you spell your last name, Gail, just in case you didn't know. And anyway, you win the bell pull, so congratulations. I would love to pass this on to you if you can get a hold of me through Instagram, private message, or again through YouTube. I'll get that off to you so that you can get busy. Busy, busy, busy. Okay. Lots of goodies going everywhere.
All right. Well,
Fun, fun, fun.
back to my little finish. This was supposed to be done as a pillow, and I have a lot of little pin cushions, and I thought I need to do something different. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do a miniature drum?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm
Yes.
going to roll this up, and I'm going to put it around a little roll of batting. I already kind of fitted it around.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I need to know from my design accomplice here is, what do we top it with? Do we go with the felt as a top to the drum? Whoops, that jumped off of there. I either want to put the felt on the top of the drum, or I have this kind of muted fabric.
I have my vote.
Which?
The felt, definitely. Because
Okay.
it doesn't distract from that beautiful stitching.
Okay,
This distracts from it.
okay, too busy.
Busy, busy, busy.
All right.
Yes, I love that felt. That's
Okay.
perfect.
I can't wait to finish it that way.
Beautiful.
I came up with that last week, and I thought, nope, I'm not sure which to use. So
Yeah, that's
back
awesome.
to that. And then
Very
this
cool.
is something we were talking about, the Jamboree coming up in October, and it took me back to something I hadn't finished yet. So I pulled it out this week, and I finished off my easel that we did in class.
Oh, it looks great.
This was another project we did, and Deb did hers. And these are by Sue Hillis. She had the class. Why don't you push yours in there? Go ahead and let her
Oh,
see a close
okay.
up.
Because they're all done a little bit differently.
Yep.
Has little pin,
I had it with
pearl
me
pins at the bottom
last
for the
week
feet.
to ask you questions about something. And then when I didn't get a chance to ask you, I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to dive into this.
Yeah. And then little chains for the sides to hold it. And there's my back. Show
Yep.
yours now.
And very similar
pretty.
to the front. And then I had a kind of a worded inside to my easel.
Mm-hmm.
And then my back is,
I like that fabric. That's awesome.
yeah,
Very
it's
pretty.
really cool. Yeah, I did mine with the little chains too, and the little feet.
Yeah.
This was a pre-stitch to class, and we spent all of class actually mounting and lacing and then flat folding. And I forget, we had quite a few people in the class and a table full of fabric, and by the time I got back there to do mine, I was a little bit behind everybody else, and it took me bringing the pieces home to attach to the top. I had everything covered, I just hadn't put it together. So,
Yeah.
and this was the,
And I wanted to show you, whenever I do alphabets, I think you started doing this too, but I always, you'll always see my E differently. That's just something I started forever ago for my last name. I always stitch my E in a different color.
and that's clever.
So,
And this was the piece that was the pattern that actually came with the class. And then I thought, you know what? Might as well show you what that entire Jamboree was about last year. And I brought the last piece we did, This was a little spool. This goes wrapped around a wooden spool and holds a pair of scissors. And Gloria was really nice and gave us this neat little primitive black, almost Halloween-looking pair of scissors to go in our spool. I started
And the
mine.
spool's painted black too.
Yes. And we did that in class. We painted it in class.
Did we?
Yeah. That was the messy part.
Was I there?
Yeah. And I just started my
You know me, I
kitty
can't remember
and my
names. I
skirt.
can't remember anything.
This is on 40/1, so that was kind of a new attempt for me. Deb does the small stuff. I don't usually get into that tiny, so this was fun, and I really enjoy that. But I jumped from her to, that was the pattern for that, to remembering, that was, by the way, those 3 classes were the whole Jamboree last year. But
Wait, what was that
Gloria,
third one?
the gold work that you showed
Oh, the
last
gold work, yes,
couple
okay,
videos ago.
gotcha,
I
yes.
should have mentioned that. Gloria, who did the spool and the small 40 count piece, is with Milady's needle. And
I like that.
I wanted to show you
Milady.
something I have going at home. And I bought these during one of our retreats in Oklahoma. They're a Quaker piece of goodies. And these are going to go in a bag, a sewing kit that I'm making through another class I took. But Gloria's work is just gorgeous, so I
Beautiful.
can't wait to work on this.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about
Okay.
classes as we get farther into this video.
All right. So, whips.
My turn to do whips. Whipses. Alrighty,
Whip it out.
here we go. Oh, I had one more finish I wanted to show quick.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was a
That's cute.
piece that's a little different. We had a comment that I had read that asked about our punch needle patterns, that Deb showed a piece on a large hoop. And then we talked about the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. That's where we get a lot of our patterns. And you can also buy the patterns in most of your LNS. You just have to ask where they keep them. Sometimes they keep them with the designer. Sometimes they have them in another section.
Which, by the way, you know that that pattern you got me, the chicken run?
Yes.
That comes in punch needle too.
I saw that when we were,
I
yes.
did not know that.
I was not sure which one you were looking for when I
Well,
first found it.
Yeah, I could do either, I guess. But I mean, I want to stitch that one cross stitch. But
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah. She does a lot. I mean, she actually runs like 2 lines
Okay.
of patterns.
Yeah, she has some beautiful patterns.
In the guild in Illinois when I was there, I went to a retreat that had a class, and this was the class. It was a needlepoint, but it was punch needle on needlepoint, and that's what interested me. All of the sheep are punch needle, and they're done on top of the canvas that we did the stitching on with the needlepoint. And this designer is Kathy Schenkel. And she does a lot of these little cubes. They're very easy to do. I found a smaller one that's a quail, and another one that I have started and pretty well finished. I just need to do the lobster portion because I lived in Maine. I thought that was cute. I'm actually going to do this and get it done hopefully soon because all I have left is the red. And then this is a compliment to the sheep. When I did this, I thought it was sheep on a summer evening until I looked at this one and I realized that this bunny pattern also has little white dots in the blue, and I thought, wait a minute, you don't have white things against a blue sky. And I realized this was Christmas. They have little Christmas holly wreaths around their necks.
Oh, I didn't even see
Isn't
that.
that interesting? So this was
Oh.
actually a Christmas pattern.
Ah,
And I have thought all along it was springtime.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas. So
That's
I
cool.
had to just kind of shift gears. But the interesting thing is the punch needle on the needlework. And so, just thinking out of the box, with all of our different fiber arts that we do and what we can combine just really intrigues me.
yeah.
So on with the other whips after I showed you the lobster
Yes.
there.
And also,
I will get back to that. I was going to do all of that in the housekeeping, but you kind of
oh,
added some to the tribute, so I'll
shocker.
pick it up.
What, me not stick to the directions? Never. Oh,
This
my
is
goodness.
by This is by Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's their afternoon in London.
Oh, that looks
And
nice.
I had always wanted to stitch that. I'm intrigued with
That is
England.
very pretty on that color.
One of these
Wow.
days, that's water lily.
Beautiful.
And I had to actually get that. I got that piece from Jen's Stitchy Niche. And that's the actual pattern when
That
it's
is
finished.
really pretty.
And I just have an interest in England. I would like to go someday. That's the one place. For the longest time, that was not on my list of things to think about. And over time, it's changed. And that little needle minder, I have to give props. I did that myself. It's just a little button cover. And I stuck one magnet inside the back of the button cover. And then the other magnet goes in behind the fabric like all the rest of them. But that was fun. I made us a couple of those. And then I have my next Shepherd's Bush piece in that series that I'm working on. And I just started the basket. I mean, I didn't get a lot done with the finishes that I worked on. But I did want to put some stitches in that.
See, it's like you're doing Mania.
I know. It's very maniacal. And that's the way I felt all week long. It's like, what has the biggest bang for somebody to watch? Do they want to see a finish? Do they want to see what I didn't stitch? So there's the pattern
There's
that
the kitty.
Deb bought me, our kitty from our retreat. And I made it around the flowers. We're getting to the end of those.
Aw.
And then I just have the alphabet to put in the top.
Yay.
Yeah, it's very quick. I just pick that up in the evening while I'm stitching. So.
Nice.
And I think that's it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. Well, I did a little more work on my iStitch
Oh,
band
I
sampler.
see.
I'll show you that. This is an easy one to take along to baseball when Logan has
Baseball.
practice and stuff like that, because it's one thread. So I got a little further on that.
Baseball
And again, the thread that I'm using is Wildflowers
Burnt
by
Toast.
Karen. Burnt Toast.
I love that name.
I do too. I do too.
I wish my
So-
burnt toast looked like
I
that.
know. And, oh, I got a little bit further on my 100-day stitch. I'll show you some of that.
I was thinking about you. I ran across my pattern the other day.
Yeah?
I was wondering if you had
Yeah,
been doing
so-
some more.
There we go. Oh, here we are. So I have a few more motifs finished. There. All right, beastie. And the other fun thing that I started, I finally joined a stitch along. So I had been seeing this Sally Spenser sampler on YouTube, on Instagram, and I really liked it because it's not huge and the colors are pretty. So when we were away this weekend, Misty and I were picking out our colors because I think we both changed it up a little bit. And I started that. So I'll show you what I have done so far, and then I will let you know the colors that I'm doing it in. So that's what I have so far. And I had also picked out fabric when we were at the store, but then I came home and did not care for it with one of the colors that I had chosen. So I went through what I had here, and I'd found a 40 count. It's by Picture This Plus, and it's called Ale, and I love it on this. I just think that is so pretty on that color.
That's a pretty color in general. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna have to remember this one. I really like it, and it's easy to stitch on too. And so it's only 6 colors in that thing. So I also wanted to show you. I got a really cool idea from Tina on Instagram. She had showed a picture, and Emily Ann's closet, and she had little
Clothespin.
thank you. All I can think of was paperclip.
Oh, they're a little smaller.
Yeah.
A little made out of metal.
Yeah. Anyway, hang your clothes
They
up
go
with
on
those.
paper.
Clothespin. And so
I can model them
yeah,
for you.
you can write the name on there. You know, this one's Carriage Black and GA for Gentle Art and the number. And then I also drew what symbol it is right there. So I don't have to hunt anything. It's good to go. I looped it through like this so that the easiest way to get it off is you're just, because I'm only using one strand when I'm stitching, so I'm just going to pull from here and my strand comes off and it stays nice and neat. And since I'm a neat freak, that works out well. Really, really well.
I need to see you using gadgets.
Do you think this is a gadget?
Oh, of course it is.
Oh, I did good. Yes. But anyway, it was not my idea. I don't know if Tina puts hers around like that, or if, I thought she was wrapping hers and winding hers, so I'll have to talk to her about that. But
Send her
it's
a link
easy
your video.
to pull off She watches. She'll say something. She'll comment. But it's easy to pull off the thread from wrapping it like that. And like I said, there's only 6 of them in this design, and everything's written on it. But also, if you wanted to, then look, they hang from the hoops. So you have really cool earrings. No, I'm just kidding. So you could stick them also on your hoop, and they'll slide around and just hang nice and neat.
Very cool.
Isn't that neat? Oh, and then on the back, I also wrote the actual which design I'm stitching.
Pattern. Name.
Yes, I wrote that. Look at my burn. I burned myself over the weekend.
On what?
On the oven. And Logan was so sweet. He got up right away because I was just finishing dinner. He got up right away and got me a bowl of ice water to stick my finger in.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Or you can
Or
have
you
your
can do
friend
this.
sit with you.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's lovely, Liz.
I need.
Yes.
I need another finger. I really do. Liz, clothespin fingers.
It looks like Edward Scissorhands.
I know. I was just trying to figure out how to say
Yeah.
that differently. Anyway, that's cool. Very cool.
Tina, thank you for the idea. I
And
think
now
that is
all the
awesome.
stores in the world are going to run out of clothespins because of you
Well,
and Tina.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing too, because I'm extremely frugal. And I thought you were going to
didn't
say
say
something.
anything.
And what a cool, that's really cool. Just go to the Dollar Tree and just buy up all the clothespins. I almost said it again. Paper clips. Don't do that. That's not going to get you anywhere. But anyway, that was a lot of fun.
Give me a few minutes. I'll come up with something we can do with paper clips.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You will turn that into a gadget. I know it. I know it. So anyway,
Very neat.
that is everything I'm working on. Oh, and I wanted to let you know, I have bought this pattern from Gulf Coast Stitcher, Julie. Thank you, Julie. She is also stitching it. I think Bendy Stitchy, Michelle, she's also stitching it. So it's fun to see everybody's progress. Pat is working on this. And now,
You?
yeah. There's other people on, there's so many people on Instagram.
I have a question.
And obviously Misty is too, because we were picking out colors together. You have a question? Mm-hmm. I have an answer.
Why were you guys all talking about Sally Mustang?
Yeah.
Or Mustang Sally at the shop.
Well, because they call this the Mustang Sally sample, and I don't know. I need to know that if someone
Because of the song that goes with Sally?
I have no idea.
Because there's no horsey on there or anything to make it a Mustang.
Yeah, because also when I put this on Instagram and I showed that I was getting it started, somebody actually left me a comment saying you have to put in the hashtag Mustang Sally sampler, and I thought, oh, okay. So I did, but then I was thinking the same thing you did. Somebody has to let me know that because I don't know the story behind that.
Okay.
I just saw this and I saw people doing it and I thought it was so pretty. It's not huge at all. It's 156 by 156 and stitches, and that's not very large.
That makes it square.
It does. Yes.
As opposed to round.
Stop it. So, thank you very much, Julie. And Julie was so sweet.
Yes.
She sent us
She did.
cute cards.
She did.
Very pretty cards. They're each a little different.
Yep.
But they have samplers on them, and
Aren't they cute?
I think we're going to frame them. They have patterns on the back too, which
They're
is
really
really
cute
cool.
there.
And she sent us some thread, and then we've been wanting to try the needles, Pat's favorite needles. So she sent us a couple of those, which is awesome. I'm excited to do that. And then she was so sweet to send along a pattern, and I had not seen this one. I love it. Stitcher's Sewing Sampler. This is by Nikki's Creations. Isn't that pretty? So thank you so much, Julie.
And then she enclosed that one. for
Yeah,
the
very, very cool.
Supply list. On
Yeah.
the back for Spring Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a cutie. She's
Very,
got a little
very-
sheep on the
very,
bottom
very
of her
pretty.
apron there.
yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you again very much, Julie.
Yes,
And
that was very nice.
yes, very, very sweet. Very sweet. So, if anybody else wants to join in on this Sally Spenser sampler, I mean, I know I'm late to the party because everybody's been doing it for a while, but feel free to join in. You can be late with me. We'll both be late to the party. So, I think that's... Oh, no. I was also going to start... Wait. That's all my whips.
That's okay.
That's it. That's all I have. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Did you have a new start?
Yes, I am going to start this, the Fresh Eggs Farm part of this. The top one I had showed you, I picked out my iced cappuccino fabric, And so I'll be, it won't look like a chalkboard. I'll be doing it completely different, but I already know where it's going to go in the kitchen. So I'm going to do this part of it. And that will be fun. I also just saw that Priscilla showed her next farm, and it's beautiful. The bees and the flowers, and it's, congratulations, that's awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Can't wait to grab that and stitch that. So
kind of fun to the
and
cow,
she puts
too.
yeah, and their little doggies in it.
Yeah.
And the truck.
Yeah.
Gotta have that truck. I love it. It's awesome. So congratulations. That'll be fun to get. Yes, so I think I'm just going to keep working on my sampler and start that. And my I stitch, you stitch, we all stitch.
I had a couple of things that kind of tie in at the end of gadgets. I think I'll jump onto the gadgets.
Okay. Gadget Corner.
Yes, and it was hard to choose because we have lots to choose from. And so I brought two this time. This sock isn't one of them that I have.
I don't think
the
I can
item
see
in.
it yet.
Yes, that's just what I keep it in because I don't want it scratched. This looks like one of those jeweler's eyepieces that they use to look at gems, but it actually is similar in nature. It has a little magnifier on the bottom with a scale built into it that runs an inch, and it's divided, and it has the ability, you would lay this against your fabric, get some good lighting, and look through there, and you can very quickly count the fabric with this. No more getting out a ruler or having to see if you can see through a magnifying glass at the threads. It's all done for you, and it's wonderful. So that I found when we were at Nordic Needle, and it magnifies it 10 times, so that makes it really easy to count. And then the other thing I found is by Clover. Deb couldn't figure it out when I showed it to her. It comes apart.
I thought it was lipstick.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And
I
it
didn't know
does.
what
It looks like it. And the principle is pretty much the same, except there's a magnet involved in this one.
Yay!
And it holds all your needles.
Voila.
And the neat part about it is that you can put multiple size needles in there. You can pretty easily see which ones are the 28 petites from the 24, 26 tapestry needles just by looking. And it's so nice. I used to put them all in different vials and keep them separated so I know what the sizes were. And this thing is just, I love it. So I keep this tucked away in my sewing area and grab what I need. And those are this week's gadgets.
Very cool. Very cool.
But I did want to talk a little bit about people who've been commenting about being by themselves in areas and not having somebody to stitch with or an LNS.
Yeah.
And it got me to thinking about some of the things I did because I had that similar situation in Illinois. And I lived there 3 years before I found out there was an LNS 20 miles away. Honestly, I asked everybody, do you know of a cross-stitch store? What's that? And I finally gave up. And then one day I was online, and I ran across this site online, and I realized it was 20 miles from me.
Aww.
And so what I had started doing was looking online for different ways to order things that would have complete kits to them that would give me something new to work on. And this is one example. Gay Ann Rogers, if the name isn't familiar, she's kind of iconic in needlework. She had done a lot of teaching and designing, and she has a Jane Austen series of different smalls and things that go along with the Jane Austen books, sort of historically. And I ran across this kit for a little fob, and it used silks. And at the time, I had wanted to try silks. So it only had a couple of colors that I had to track down, just a few, and they were different types. And then it used a gold work and some impressions. And then it came with the little Jane Austen ruler to go on the fob. And the nice part of this is it's a gauge, 3 inches, your standard stitching gauge about where to start from the corner, 2 or 3 inches down, and it hangs off the fob on your scissors. So that was really intriguing to me. And I'm going to start that, but the reason I brought it along was to say that it came with finishing instructions. The instructions themselves are probably about 15 to 18 pages.
Woo.
And it tells each stitch, gives you diagrams of each stitch, and that's a great way to learn something new if you're by yourself. Another way is with tutorials on YouTube.
Yep.
Vana has tutorials about finishing work. And if you're just getting into stitching, you're probably looking for tutorials about new ways or existing ways to do things, new stitches. Mary Corbett has a lot of stitching YouTubes videos about each stitch and how to do it.
Nice.
And so I would say look for classes. Shining Needle Society is another place that has large classes with very popular, well-known designers like Jackie Duplessis. I don't know if Betsy Morgan has had a class on there or not, but they're always available.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I was talking about for classes and getting together with people.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Just a last housekeeping item for me. I have stitch bow
yes.
items that I want to send to Kay Killian. If you can send me an address, connect with me and let me know where to send it, I'd be happy to get that in the mail.
Yep.
And this pretty much concludes today's video.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay. Do you want to say anything about?
Yes, thank you. A couple things actually. We've got an upcoming video where we're going to look at something we did in a class at the retreat we were on together. But we're also going to be looking at the Just Another Button Company pin cushions that we've done. This will be one of them. And this little guy, I'm working on him right now, is another one coming up. So in the next couple of videos, keep your eye open for us taking a walk down that lane. And as we end our videos, we'd like to ask you to please click like.
Oh, please, thank you.
Let us know you enjoyed the video, and also subscribe.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for all your comments. We really do read them all, and I'm sorry if we can't answer everyone. We will obviously try to, either on our videos or right there in the comment section. But we certainly appreciate everything, every sweet thing.
And we do go through them.
Said. Yeah.
Just so you know how we try to do it, Deb kind of monitors Instagram and comments and tries to keep up with all that, and she keeps me clued in if there's something I need to do or respond to, and then I try to take care of all the other behind-the-scenes work with the video and posting and keeping that all put together.
And then we
with
both read the
YouTube.
comments from YouTube.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Very, very sweet. Thank you for all the love that you share with
Yes.
us. Thank you.
Yes.
So,
And
all right.
remember, as
Well,
your week goes on, share the joy of needlework. Thank you.
All right. See ya.